Well, I hope you'll enjoy the second chapter of A Nameless Witch by A. Lee Martinez, one of my favorite books. This is going to be part 1 of chapter 1 because it takes longer than 10 minutes to read a chapter, apparently. So, enjoy. Chapter 2. Exactly how long I lived with ghastly Edna, I couldn't say. It was forever autumn in those woods, and as a side effect of my ageless nature, I do not measure time well. I assume ghastly Edna did grow older, but as she was wrinkled old witch when I first met her, she didn't get more wrinkled, at least not noticeably so, over the course of my tutelage. However long it took, it was soon after I'd learned everything that she could teach me that she woke me one morning. The morning light perturbed and deadened me, and ghastly Edna respected this. I knew right away something was wrong. "No more questions, dear," she said. "I need you to go to the lake." I stirred from my bed. "But, mistress—" She put her fingers to my lips. "Shush, child. I don't have time to explain, and even if I did, I don't have to. You'll do as I say." I nodded. "Very good. Now you must go and bathe yourself in the lake. And I'm not talking about merely your face and hands. I mean your entire body. I know the light will bother you, so you can wear your hat to shade your eyes. But otherwise you must strip off every other stitch. After you've gotten yourself nice and clean, you must hurry back. I'll be dead by then, and we'll have one last talk before I go." This final piece of news stopped me cold. "But—" "I said, shush, child. Now get dressed. We have time to talk when you return. You must hurry to the lake." She lumbered from my small room, barely squeezing through the door. "And don't bother with the whole outfit. Just your hat and your black dress, the one with the loose skirt." I always did as ghastly Edna told, and today was no exception. As I got dressed, I couldn't help but think about her death. Not for a moment did I doubt it was going to be. She often spoke of the future and other things that she could not know. It was the magic. It talked her, and as far as I could tell, it never lied. It was not fate, she explained once, but rather the past yet to be. Not to be confused with the future that might come, or the present that never was. Subtle distinctions I'd never truly understand, but ghastly Edna had reassured me this was not my fault. It could not be properly explained by her, only the magic, and the magic had never talked to me. Rather, I'd yet to hear it. I slipped on my dress. It was comfortable cloth cut in a most unflattering way. It failed to hide away all the unwanted charms of my witchly form, but it was better than nothing. Normally I wouldn't dare to be seen outside without a tattered cloak and a frumpy shawl. I scowled, pressing a palm against my flat stomach. I've been working to develop a flabby belly and a chubby behind for as long as I could remember. The curse kept them right and toned, no matter how much I ate. "Hurry up, dear," ghastly Edna called. I grabbed my hat and tattered and pointed with a wide brim. I headed for the door. On the way out, I stopped and watched my mistress, her back to me, fussing over the stove. She did not turn around. "And take Newt with you. He'll be yours anyway. Might as well get used to each other." I couldn't bring myself to leave. Not that I thought staying would do much good. If the magic said she was to die, then I couldn't stop it. "Be off, child. Don't make me box your ears." "Yes, madam." The hard light burned my eyes. I tolerated, but the rays pricked my skin. I shivered beneath a warm breeze. I pulled my brim over my face and gave myself time to adjust to the morning. I called for Newt. "You don't have to shout," he said from the cabin roof. "I'm right here." "We have to go to the lake." Newt cocked his head to the side, squinting one eye at me. "What?" "The mistress ordered it." He cocked his head the other way. "What for?" "She didn't say, just that we must hurry." "We?" "You're to come with me." "Are you certain?" Ghastly Edna shouted from the darkened cabin. "Go on, Newt! Do as I say!" "Oh, very well." Newt was my mistress's familiar. Familiars come in countless varieties. Demons molded into animal shape, enchanted creatures, dreams made flesh, flesh made dream. Ghastly Edna had created Newt by enchanting a waterfowl with an intelligence and speech, and grafting a pinch of pure demon essence. The end result was an ill-tempered duck, unhappy with the entire world and quite willing to share his unhappiness. Being a duck was what he was most unhappy with. Not just a duck, but a white duck. Brown feathers trimmed his wings and ran down his back, but they failed to make him more sinister. Even if he'd been midnight black, I don't think it would have helped. Ducks, even demon ducks, just aren't terrifying to look upon. He hopped off the roof and landed beside me. "Let's get going, then. If we must, you'd better get dressed." "I am dressed." "I think not. You're barely covered at all." I explained this was all Ghastly Edna had allowed me to wear. He quacked his displeasure. We walked down the path on the lake. Newt had a particular way of walking. His bow-legged swagger seemed more ridiculous than a traditional waddle. I told him once, and he told me to mind my own business. So I did. Even if he did walk like a bird with a rash between his legs. When we got to the lake, I hesitated to do as I was told. I'd spent most of my life in the dark. I bathed in the lake many times before, but always at night. Not that the sun was a true danger, I just wasn't used to it. It was so bright, and I would be so exposed. Newt sighed. "Get on with it, would you?" I pulled my hat tighter on my head and slipped off my dress. Newt sighed again. "Dark gods, girl, you're beautiful." It was not intended as a compliment. I quickly immersed myself up to my chest, hiding from the warm sun beneath the cold water. It's not my fault. "Have you tried eating lard?" I nodded. "And it didn't do anything?" "Nothing ever does." He paced back and forth a safe distance from the shore. He didn't mind water, but only in shallow tubs and puddles. "Self-mutilation. A nasty scar, too, couldn't hurt." "I don't scar," I replied sadly. "I considered sawing off a limb once, but Mistress said it would just grow back. She says as long as I live, I'll look like this." "Bad luck." Newt pushed his wings up in a darkly shrug. In this particular matter he could sympathize. Just as I was too pretty to be a witch, he was too white and fluffy to be a creature of fear. My bath didn't take long. I was just emerging when Newt raised his head and glanced around the woods. "I think there's someone out there." "There's nobody out there," I replied, even as I slid on my dress to cover it. It hid little. Cloth clung to my damp skin. "I think there is," he said. I joined in him scanning. At night I could have seen everything. During the day my eyes suffered. I couldn't see anything or anyone, but I felt something. I wondered if this perhaps was the magic finally talking to me. Ghastly Edna said that it talked to everyone, but most were unwilling to listen.